How is it going, my consistent viewers? So, 6 of you, you know who you are. We have How to Survive 2 in the first game, and the visuals really weren't up to par, and the gameplay was quite poor, and the whole survival zombie fact, and a lot of people praised it, but at the same time, it really wasn't much of a survival game, especially compared to games like State of Decay and Ark Survival, but other even low-tier arcade games. But in the second one, they have definitely improved it a lot. If you don't know what How to Survive is, I'm not going to tell you. Nope, not going to. It's pure pressure, and I'm not. How to Survive is a zombie apocalypse game, and you're trying to survive, and essentially you gather resources and do missions to get your camp a higher level and yourself a higher level, and it's essentially a very grindy MMO game, as well as you can play with your friends as well, up to 4 people at once, and go around killing zombies. At the beginning of the game, you meet a man named Kovac, and he'll teach you all about the game, and then you'll start doing missions for him, and he'll introduce you to other people to start doing missions for them as well. Like I said, you'll be doing a lot of missions, so you can level up and get different resources from those missions, and it's a lot easier to get it there than it is just getting it in the wild. When it comes to the storyline, I mean, it's kind of funny at sometimes. It sounds like it's trying to be Borderlands 1 really hard, but for the most part, it's semi-forgettable. Essentially, there's 2 zones, and the missions, they'll take you to certain areas, as well as the main area where you get thrown in and where you make your base and stuff, and there's a lot of side quests you can do here, and I was surprised on how big it actually is. Going into missions, whether it counts as a quote-unquote main mission or if you're doing a side quest, it will take you to a random area. And I will say some of these areas are very similar to each other. I don't give a shit if it's rainy or sunny. A lot of the areas are just thrown in with some buses, with generic buildings that you go inside all the time. Sometimes they switch it up with cool looking areas, but for the most part they just random generate the areas. So every time you go into a mission area, you'll have to either, go find this or go talk to this guy, but you can also scavenge around the area, and sometimes there'll be stuff to drink, parts you can use for weapons or building armor for later on when you build stuff in your base. Base making is definitely fun, and one of the reasons this game keeps grabbing you in and getting resources, building an armory, and getting cool armor and scavenging for weapons. Getting a good area is very important, because you'll also be defending it later on when you want to level up your base even higher, and zombies will come attack you from every which way, so you build fortresses and fences so they can't get through, and you build defenses as well that could kill them. Problem I have with placing some things, I don't know why I just can't place things right next to each other. Why the fuck not? Is the grass too long? I'll mow it if I have to. Why do I have to place it right here? And essentially this game is doing a bunch of missions, gathering a lot of resources, making your person stronger, getting armor, and sometimes enjoying the very quirky moments of the game that leaves you at a laugh. I would say awesome bullshit is definitely the interface. I hate drag and drop and using PC controls on console. Use any interface like one from Fallout or Skyrim. Those work just fine. Why not do it here? Not too hard. I like the fact that we build a community, and playing with friends, trust me, is a lot more fun than playing by yourself, or go find someone to join and help them grow bigger. And as well, you'll have a lot more fun and an easier time playing the game, and it's really about growing your community and then defending it, and I think that's the real fun of this game. In a game like this, one of the best things is customizing a character that's your own and great and unique to itself. Unfortunately, the customization isn't that great. I mean, I've definitely seen worse, but I wish it was a lot better with more options. When it comes to visual and sound design, it's about the same as the first game. There are some textural differences, and you can see that they did try to add more depth, I could say, when it comes to the forest areas, but unfortunately, unless they really try their hardest to make a really depth forest, the forest areas, the real free roaming areas, aren't really much different from the last game. And when it comes to the sounds, I mean, they're just mediocre rah and whoo sounds. This really only happened the first 12 hours of the game's release, but there was a lot of crashes and a lot of problems. People couldn't even get back into their game, and some people couldn't even play the game for a few hours because the game just wouldn't allow them. I couldn't even go into my own server that I had because, I don't know, the game was just crashing, having a really bad problem, maybe with all the people coming on at once, I'm not really sure. But there was also lag problems and shooting a zombie that just wouldn't die and things like that, but as of now, it's not too bad. They did simplify the crafting system in the second game, which some people might be like, oh, well, that's not a survival. Well, it was crap. It was complete garbage, and it really wasn't that hard to figure out. The fact that they made it a lot easier to access now, and you can see everything you're making, it made it a lot more enjoyable, and it made the grind a lot more fun to know what you're going to make and what you need to make that. So it really made the progression a lot more fun in this go-around.
I've already told you how.
This second installment of How to Survive is a lot more alive in this one, and that's funny to say because we're fighting the undead, but it's really alive in this one because the fact that we're building a base and then zombies come to it when our base becomes stronger, so it's involving us more into the game. Yes, doing the missions over and over again is your normal grindy MMO, and especially they're not innovative whatsoever, but the game still has fun value. It's a 6.5 out of 10.